Before I play this song, I always like to talk about the story behind it. Because if this is your very first time hearing music like this, sometimes it helps the song make more sense when you know the heart behind them. And because of the music that I play and the way that we perform as a band and stuff I wear, it's my everyday Christian thing, and sometimes people think it's really cool, and then other times people can be a little bit mean. You know, unfortunately, a lot of my experience with church growing up, there was a lot of hurt there, and there was a lot of just fear, a lot of exclusion, and I struggled really bad with my mental health, and it was hard because I feel like there was nobody that I could go to that would show me God's love. And a few years ago, God started to shift some things in my life that I wasn't quite ready for them to be shifted. And you know, I think when God moves in your life, it's always awesome, but sometimes there is a little bit of an uncomfortable moment, because what we want doesn't always line up with what God wants, and so sometimes you got to be stretched a little bit. And you know, I had to process a lot of confusion, a lot of loss, a lot of grief. And for somebody who was already struggling and kind of isolated, it was a lot. And it became very heavy very quickly, and it just seemed like it would be easier to take myself out of the equation because at least the pain would go away. But I made a split-second decision to stay, and my life has become so much more beautiful on the other side of that pain. And it would be awesome to say that the story ended there, but to be honest, I was being medicated for depression up until that point. And shortly after, my doctor stopped responding to me, and I did everything I could to reach out and get some sort of answer from them, but you know, there was just no response. And it didn't matter if the pills were even doing their job anymore, what they were prescribed to do. I was holding on to them to be the one thing that would save me from the mess of my life. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do without them. And in a last-ditch effort, I reached out to God and I asked him if he could fix me, because nothing else had worked. And I just told him, I was like, I understand if you won't, I understand if you won't even listen, because I've run and I've tried to fix things myself. I mean, it's awesome because God didn't leave me there. He put my brain back together so much better than I could have. And I don't even have to take medication anymore. You know, he's healed my mind. And all that fear that I had of people, all the, you know, fear that I had associated with church, all of that, it's awesome because I get to come to churches like this, and I get to travel with my husband and some of our best friends, and you know, we get to talk about what God has rescued us from. And there's just so much more joy in my life now. And I used to think that if I just held on to the broken parts of me, or my anger, or my hurt, that it would somehow give me strength. But the truth is, those things only hold you hostage. And the second you're able to start letting go, that's where true freedom begins. And that's where true healing begins. So if any of you here tonight have been in that same spot where I was, where you're thinking that maybe your life has no value, or maybe people are better off without you, I promise you that is a lie. You deserve to give yourself a fighting chance to see the beautiful things that can come into your life on the other side of your pain. You know, I'm not going to pretend like I know what all of you are going through, because everyone's got their own stories. But I promise you, God has not abandoned you. And I'm sorry if the way you are feeling is because of people who came in the name of God and they hurt you. And I'm so sorry for that, because that was not God. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I'm going to be at my table. Sean's going to be at his table. Some of his songers going to be at their table. We would love to meet all of you, just to thank you for being here. Thanks for letting me share a bit of my story with you tonight. This song that we're going to play next is a song called Can You Fix Me? And it's just about that time in my life.